Hey, Husky fans, Joe Summons here from NIU Athletics, joined by co-defensive coordinator, linebackers coach Robert Wimberly. Coach, how you doing?
Doing well, Joe. I really appreciate you allowing me the opportunity to be here with you.
Can you just talk a little about just how camp is going for the young guys?
It's going well. It's been exciting to have the opportunity to get back out there on the field and be able to coach and teach these young men and watch them fly around and see the progress that we've made from the last season to the off season. It's just been fun to represent the Huskies right now.
Can you talk a little about, this is the first spring we've had in 2 years. We didn't have one last year. How important is it for the young defensive unit to get out there on the practice field this spring?
Well, I know from my position, and Coach Jackson's been really telling us as coaches that every rep is priceless. We have to make the most of every rep with this young group. So far, I really feel like the young men have made the most of it. Practice has been fun. It's been physical. It's been challenging. We've definitely put a lot on their plate, but they have risen up to the challenge. So, seeing that we did not have a spring last year and to see how these young men are making the most of every rep, I'm excited about where we're headed.
It's been kind of an interesting spring. Like we talked about not having a spring last year, but we played so many young guys in that abbreviated season we played. Can you just talk about what the retention from last year to carrying over to spring and just how the guys were able to just maintain what they learned over the course of the 6-game season with such a young group? They improved as the year went on drastically.
Well, the thing you saw from last year, and as we as a staff looked at the film, our young men were resilient. They were able to stay the course. They were able to believe the mission that Coach Emmett laid out, regardless of the results of the games. Each week they came ready to play. And so now that you enter into the offseason, our focus was functional strength. These young men have to get stronger. And then football intelligence. As you watch us on the field, we look different. We look stronger. Our young men are responding to the teaching of the coaches. And so we're excited. They understand what it is to get out on that field. And for that hour and a half, 2 hours we're out there, it's business as usual to make sure that we're getting better.
Where did you see the defense grow the most as the year went on last season?
I mentioned earlier just resilience. Those young men were resilient. I think positive energy. Every time we came out to practice, Coach Emmett did a great job. Regardless of the results, we got to come attack the next day. And then accountability. I think that's an area where our team took a big stride, was being accountable for our actions on the field. Hey, Coach, I messed that up. What do I need to do to clean it up? And so going into the offseason, us having an opportunity to show them themselves in 2020, hey, this is the mistakes. You're not using your hands properly. Look at your communication. You're not communicating properly. That's really helped these young men be able to come into spring ball and be able to work on those areas and get better.
Is there a specific area you guys were looking? I mean, I know there's multiple areas whenever we're in spring. I mean, whether it be technique or just trying to understand, angles of pursuit or whatnot. Was there something that you guys saw from last season that you guys really wanted to focus on this spring?
I think the biggest thing is just fanatical effort to the ball, just getting to the ball, 11 guys at the ball. Technique, yeah, we're going to coach technique. We want to get better there, but we want to be a defense that when you watch the film, you say that defense plays hard. And so, so far this spring, we've seen that. I think the other areas just, overall technique, football intelligence, our communication. You mentioned it, angles to the football, so we can limit our explosive plays. And so those things are moving right along as we enter into our next practice and finishing up spring ball.
Kind of focus on your position group. I mean, you got 3 veterans in that room with Kyle Pugh, Nick Ratim, Lance DeVoe, who got back on the field last year. What's it like to have some veterans in there with this young unit to kind of bring them all along?
Those 3 names you mentioned, their experiences has been a big asset to our young guys. I talk about Lance and Few. I tell our young guys, those 2 young men have been here since the indoor opened up in 2013. And so, they got a lot of game experience. They have done a great job of taking these young players up under their wings, not only in our room, but also amongst our defense. And so, they're able to tell them, the importance of the details of watching film and how you got to attack practice. So, it's definitely been a blessing to have those two young men, and then Routine, who's played 2 years in a row for us at a high level, having them back and being able to guide our room.
And just the defense in general, I mean, it's a young group. I mean, safeties, freshmen, cornerbacks. We had some transfer come in. Jordan Gandy had a heck of a year last year for us too. I mean, can you just talk about the overall feel of that unit and kind of what they're like?
Well, it's business as usual. I mean, this group is very special in the mentality of we're going to take care of business, coach. We're not going to focus so much on the end product. We're going to focus on the process. And Coach Hemick has done a great job of teaching our young men how to enjoy the process, embrace the process, make sure you're prepared. So when you get to game day, you're ready to go. Your confidence of preparation allows you to play well. And so this young unit has really bought into that. Practice has been fun. Practice has been exciting. Guys want one more rep. Guys want to challenge the offense. Hey, let's go again. And when you have that atmosphere, you're headed down the right direction.
Well, Coach, I know a bunch of Husky fans can't wait to see this team in action. Start of the football season this year, or back in September, starting in September. So can't thank you enough for joining us here today and taking some time out of your day. And I want to just let you get back to work and get back to spring.
Appreciate it. Go Huskies.